Welcome to the Painting Coach, and today I'm going to show you how to paint the brand new Dominator Engine for the Helsmiths of Hashut, the brand new army set from Games Workshop. A huge thank you to them for sending me this model out early, so let's get painting. So I've built this model with the immolator cannons, and I have primed it using lead belcher spray. Nice, easy and straightforward. Now there's a lot of metallics on this model, so we'll jump in with the darker bronze colour. Now I'm basing all of this with warp block bronze. And what I realised as I'm painting this, it really isn't a very nice colour to use. It doesn't cover particularly well. However, once you get a second coat on, it does come out okay, and it's actually got a really nice shine to it. Once that's completely dry, I'm then going to shade all of the silver and all of the dark bronze colours using some Nuln Oil. Now this is really going to darken things down quite a bit. So it's really important that you don't let this pool too heavily in any one spot. Generally, I'm going to be brushing downwards, so I'm going to drag the paint towards the bottom of the model. And I am going to use a fair amount of Nuln Oil here. So just be careful as it dries, it doesn't pool too heavily in any of the recesses. Keep an eye on it, and if you need to, you can soak some of it up with your brush. When that's completely dry, I wanted to go in and just dirty up some of the silver a little bit. So I took some Agrax Earthshade and painted this over all of the mechanical parts of silver. So I'm looking at things like the knees, I'm looking at the joints. I'm also going to paint all over the cage down the back, giving that a nice little bit of an oily tint. Looking at those immolator cannons, they've got a little bit of a browny hue to them, but it seems to be a little bit of a brighter colour. So I've just taken some Seraphim Sepia. I've mixed it with a little bit of contrast medium, and I'm just going to paint this around the cannons themselves. Now, again, because most of these are facing downwards, the wash is going to run in that direction. So just keep an eye that it doesn't pull too heavily, and make sure that you soak up any excess. Now, this is an example of me changing my mind halfway through a paint job. So for all of the trim around the immolator cannons and also the hooves, I wanted to do them in a darker metal. So I didn't really have anything dark enough. Iron Warriors wasn't quite dark enough, so I just took some Abaddon Black and mixed this in with the Iron Warriors, about 50-50, and painted this all across the hooves. I also painted it across some of that detailing that you've got on the immolation cannons, and particularly around where you've got those exhaust vents. Now, if you're not sure, check the box art, and you'll see there that they are significantly darker than some of the other portions. I then washed these with some Nuln Oil to darken them down even further. Now, you might ask yourself, well, how come you didn't do this at the same time? Like I said, I changed my mind halfway through. It's absolutely okay to do that. It just meant that I took a little bit extra time putting some more Nuln Oil on, waiting for it to dry. Next up, it's time to start the highlighting process. So we'll start with that warp block bronze. Now, as you can see here, I'm using a flat-headed brush. Now, this is one of the old, I don't know if they still make these, Games Workshop synthetic brushes. But it's great for this because I'm not dry brushing per se, but I can just make sure I haven't got a huge amount of paint on my brush. And I can brush it downwards, and what it's going to do is going to catch those raised edges. But where you've got all of those runic inscriptions, it's going to leave the darker colour in the recesses. And like I already said, this is a really nice shiny colour when you've got a nice even coat on. So it does start to pick out really nicely. So I'm doing this across all of the dark bronze. Next up, I used that same flat-headed brush and I took some Balthazar Gold. And what I look to do here is just catch those areas that are going to get the most light. So really I'm dragging it down some edges, some of the significant parts of the model where it's really bright. Now, if you find that this transition, this jump is a little bit too much, once you've got that nice even coverage of Balthazar Gold down, you can always mix a little bit of warp block bronze into it and just smooth this over the transition so it's not quite as harsh. But what you should have now is a really nice shiny bronze miniature. For the darkest silver, I took some lead belcher and I looked to drag my brush across these sharp edges, getting some nice crisp lines on the highlight. Now, this is a nice easy fix if you do go a little bit too heavy with this highlight. You can just use some Iron Warriors to fix it. But generally, if you just take your time, make sure you haven't got too much paint on your brush. And a good tip, you can drag it nicely across those edges. For all other rivets and the brighter parts of silver, I took some chrome from Vallejo Model Air. Now, if you haven't got this, you can absolutely use something like Runefang Steel from Citadel. For the rivets, I just dotted them. And for highlighting the immolation cannons and also some of that decorative element coming from the shoulder blades, I just dragged my brush across the sharp edges, and that gave me a really nice crisp highlight. Next up, we'll do all of the brighter gold colours, and the colour I'm using for this is Dragon's Gold from Two Thin Coats. Now, if you haven't got this, you can use Retributor Armour from Citadel. It's absolutely fine. Now, as you can see, this isn't going on and covering particularly well. This is down to some of the hydrophobic properties of a sprayed metallic base coat. So don't pile the paint on, just let it dry and then go in and add a second coat. Now, there's quite a bit of gold across the model, the head in particular. You've also got that loin guard, and you've also got a lot of trim around the legs and the back of the arms, and of course that left shoulder guard. So take your time with this. Like I said, let it dry, then go in and layer up. To give some depth to that gold and to make the model look overall significantly less orange, take some Reichland flesh shade and just paint this into all of the recesses. Now, there is a significant amount of gold on the model, so you are going to use quite a bit of Reichland flesh shade here. As I've said with all the other washes that you've used, be careful, keep an eye on it as it dries. If you see it starts to pool really heavily in one place, then just take your brush and soak some of it up, because otherwise it's going to leave really ugly tide marks and can be difficult to clear up afterwards. When that Reichland flesh shade is completely dry, I took some glistening gold from 2 thin coats. Again, if you've got Liberator gold from Citadel, that is absolutely fine in this scenario. It'll work perfectly well. Generally, what I'm looking to do is catch quite a significant amount of the gold, leaving the darker colours in the recesses and picking out some of those edges of the trim. Now, if you just drag your brush along them, you can get a nice crisp highlight. What I'm really mindful of here is the bits of gold that are going to be facing downwards, so they're generally going to be darker. So I am going to use quite a bit of glistening gold, but it really will start to brighten up those elements of the model. To finish off the gold and to just give it a really popping highlight, I think it's a white gold from Procryl. Now, if you haven't got this, you can mix some of your bright silver in with your gold highlight colour. You don't need much silver, just a tiny amount, otherwise it'll look a bit green. But what I'm looking to do here is just drag my brush across those areas that are going to catch the most light and will have the brightest highlight. So really, it's only edges that we're doing here, corners, sharp parts of those immolator cannon trims, things like that. Use this very sparingly. We'll move on to all of the flames next. So we've got some in the belly of the beast, and of course we've got those ones coming out of the back as well. So what I'm doing is taking some Caliban green and I am painting all of the flames with this. When it comes to the cage elements of the gut on the front and the back, and a little bit across the top of where the neck would be, I'm not really being careful not to spill this. I'm kind of just going to do a little bit of an edge highlight onto some of those metallic edges, and the reason for that is because it'll just give a little bit of a glow effect. It's not going to be perfect, but it will sell it on the tabletop. So just make sure you cover this nicely with a good even coverage of Caliban green. Could take 2 coats for this. Next up, I'm going to take some Warpstone Glow, and I'm going to paint this over all of the flames. I'm particularly looking at the prominent parts, so I am going to leave some of that Caliban green in the recesses. I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to the metallics as well, but I'm going to drag my brush across the edges, and that's going to give me that nice crisp highlight. And this is where I'm being a little bit more deliberate in terms of doing edge highlights on the metallics. When it comes to that flame coming out of the back, I'm not going to paint all of it. I'm probably going to paint about 2/3 of it, just leaving that Caliban green on the trailing parts. And that's because I'm going to show you how to get a nice smooth transition from a much brighter colour to a darker green shortly. So having taken leave of my senses, I'm going to take some Corax White. Now I'm going to use this to base all of the smoke coming out of the exhaust, but I'm also going to use it to base all of the flames that we've already painted green as well. But I'm not painting all of them, I'm just painting the parts that are facing outwards. So generally you can drag your brush across them and you should be able to cover this quite nicely. And then when it comes to those flames coming out of the top of the model, I'm probably going to paint about the bottom third to a half of them with the Corax White. Now I do want a nice even coverage here, so I am going to take my time and do 2 coats if I need to. When that's all completely dry, I'm going to take some Striking Scorpion contrast paint. I'm going to paint this over all of the flames. Now, this is going to be the flames in the gut. It's going to be the flames that are coming out to the top as well. And when I say all over them, I mean all over them. I'm also going to paint it over the Warpstone Glow and the Caliban green, and obviously the Corax White. And that's what's going to help blend this transition and really, really sell it. Now, I've also done the eyes white as well, and I'm going to paint them with a little bit of Striking Scorpion too. When that Striking Scorpion is completely dry, I'm then going to take a second coat, and what I'm looking to do is where the Striking Scorpion and the Warpstone Glow meet, I'm just going to paint across that join towards the Warpstone Glow. And what that's going to do is, again, just going to help even out that transition ever so slightly. To get the smoke done, I'm going to take some Carandra's green contrast paint and paint the majority of the exhaust smoke with this. Whilst that paint is still wet, I'm then going to take some Dark Angel's green contrast paint and paint this on the top of the smoke. Now, these will blend together a little bit on the model. Keep an eye on them that they don't run to each other too much. And when they're completely dry, just take some more Dark Angel's contrast paint and paint it on the top of the smoke to really darken that area down. To help continue selling the effect on the smoke, I'm taking some Flash Kits yellow, and I'm going to highlight the parts of the flames coming out of the model that are closest to that gut, so where in theory they're going to be warmest. So I'm not using a huge amount of paint here. The other thing I'm going to do is pick out those little eyes, those demonic eyes that we've got in all of that bale flame. To finish those flames and add the last highlight, I'm going to take some Dawn Yellow, which again is much brighter. So this is going to be a lot more focused, and you really only need a very, very small amount of this, to the point where I'm almost just edge highlighting the bottom parts of the flame where they start to extrude from the body. And there we have it. This Dominator engine is completely done and finished and ready for the tabletop. I'm really, really happy with how everything has come out, in particular all of the flame. I think it really does sell the effect quite nicely for not a huge amount of work and not a huge amount of blending, actually. So I'm really, really chuffed for that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more Helsmiths of Hashut, let me know down in the comments. Leave a like and, of course, subscribe and check out all of my other content here. Thank you so, so much for watching. I'll see you next time.